All right, gentlemen. When you talk to women, especially these days, one of the hot words as far as what they're looking for in a guy is they want a guy who's vulnerable. Vulnerability. That's kind of a hot button topic for women these days. What do you consider vulnerable? Like what do what does being vulnerable mean to you? Nemo, you're up first, brother.
Vulnerable means to me that alone is emotional. It's emotional. Vulnerability makes you human, in my point of view, when it comes to that. And I think we all should be vulnerable in a way. I mean, we are men. You can't do everything 100%. There's going to be times where things are hard. It's even when we're placed on this earth, and God says you're going to face difficulties. So you are going to face difficulties, and you're going to be vulnerable. You always going, and I think that makes us human. I think if you're not vulnerable, you act tough all the time, it's going to be hard for people to relate to you in any kind of form of a relationship because you're going to always have one-sided point of view. So I think vulnerability actually helps us be more of a human, be able to allows us to interact with one another. To be honest with you, and I think I am vulnerable. I'm sensitive. You guys all know that. I cry after the show, every once in a while when Rob get scream at me. So, but that's life, So that's my opinion of vulnerability. I am, I'll cry in front of. Well, I've never cried in front of a woman, but I think I could. I could. That way they can see that side of me because when you're vulnerable, you're able to express yourself, and people can see the true you as well.
If you take a good whiff of some of that $12 cologne you're wearing, some tears will come to your eye, bro.
You're supposed to close your eyes when you spray your face, Nemo.
All right, Mitchell, what's vulnerable mean to you, brother?
There's a couple of different ones. So first, let me just say, being vulnerable is stepping out of my comfort zone, doing something I've never done before, have no experience, but I want to complete or I want to learn something new. It's something I have to do in order to meet my retirement goals, but I feel completely exposed to the experienced people out there who could take advantage of me if I really don't know my stuff. So that's one form of vulnerability that I face every day. But there's also a relationship vulnerability that's completely different. And it's really, I think, comes from complete unquestionable trust. Anytime you're in any kind of a serious relationship, you're vulnerable. You're putting your trust in someone to not hurt you, to not take advantage of you. And so that's why relationships, I really think the communication has to be good because through the communication, you'll understand the quality of their character. And that can relieve a little bit of the vulnerability, if not all. But being vulnerable in a relationship is probably a little less scary for me than the vulnerability in, say, business. And I think that's just because of my age and my life experience and the relationships and what I've learned from them. I'm still learning about business, especially going into different areas and different fields of study. And those make me nervous, make me anxious, which leads to vulnerability because I don't want to get taken advantage of. I try to surround myself with good people, quality people, and also people that I may want to be in business with at a future time. So this forum that we have here is a great example. I trust all of you, and as we grow together, I trust more and more as I see that we all want some similar things, even though we're going and our lives are going to go in different directions. But that'll take a little bit of my vulnerability away, but I don't think it'll ever be completely gone.
Okay. Nas, yeah, brother. So, what does vulnerability mean to you? What is being vulnerable? Like what? How do you see yourself being vulnerable?
What is the origin of that question? Did a woman? Is that from? I mean, where did you get that question?
So basically, watching television shows and, between, whether I was in a doctor's office or something. So a couple key words when I'm talking to women about what they want in a man. They want a man that's vulnerable. Mm-hmm. It's what they're looking for.
Right. Okay.
So what does that mean for you, bro?
They don't know what they want. So vulnerability is a gynocentric word. It's stuff that women say they want, they don't want it, man. The moment that you show vulnerability to a woman, you are going to lose her respect. Women do not want to see us weak. They say they do, but they really don't, man. And so, because I've done it, I told you, man, I was a simp. I don't hide it. During my simping days, I did all that, man. Called women beautiful and was telling them about my problems and telling them how I felt, and they didn't care, man. The woman does not understand what she wants. I never listen to a woman when she tells me what she wants, unless she's talking about what she wants in the bedroom, because that's a kind of an easy thing to decipher, because it's a physical thing, right? But when she's talking about what she wants emotionally, I don't go for it. I don't listen to a woman tell me what she wants emotionally, because we know women play head games. They'll say they'll be on a date with a guy and like him, and then they'll say, "I think your suit is ugly." They don't really mean it. They're testing whether or not you're going to be upset. And if you get upset, guess what? She's like, "He's weak." So, vulnerability for me in the context of what a woman is saying, no, I don't have it. But I think Mitch or Nemo wanted to mention being open to change. There's a writer, I can't think of his, oh my God, what is his name? His quote is, "You have deeply held beliefs held lightly." Oh man, I'm screwing this up. I'll get it for the audience later. Mm-hmm. What he's saying is that we have these strong beliefs about a thing, right? Until we don't. You can have these deeply held beliefs about something until you find out the truth about that thing. For some people, they change on that, right? Like a woman is going to tell you that she wants you to be this way, but she inside, the minute that she gets what she wants, she don't want you no more. And you're going to get women that's going to respond to this and saying he's a jerk, but they know deep down inside them telling the truth. And I hope there are some women out there that'll be honest. If a man shows vulnerability, what do you think about it? So I think it's a question that women say to men. It's a shit test question. What is this guy? How is this guy going to respond to me when I tell him that? Now, I got off a little bit. I was going to say something about what Mitch or Nemo said about being vulnerable in the context of business or learning something, right? Like I have to put aside my deeply held beliefs if Nemo or Mitch come to me and say, "Yo, you wrong on that. And here's why." Then I have to step back and say, deal with my emotions about that. In my mind, that's being vulnerable, where you're dealing with a belief that you had. Now you find out it's not right, and you have to be able to say, "Yo, okay, I can change on that." But vulnerability, in the definition of what a woman wants, nah, I'm not going to be vulnerable with her.
Nemo, go ahead, brother.
Hey, Nas, I got a few. Well, I got a main question. Well, I disagree with you, basically, Nas. So, from this point of view, I mean, your opinion, you say women say they want you to be vulnerable, but that's not what they really want. But that's your point of view. We don't really know that. That's like our previous conversation, a woman is 25, they don't want to have a baby, but we don't really know. So I'll ask you a question, Nas. Have you ever been hurt by a lady, by a woman?
Um, you're gonna make me say something to hurt a woman.
No, no.
Uh, uh, I honestly, bro, I've never really been in love, man.
Okay.
So a woman can't hurt me if I'm in love. But I'll
Okay.
answer your question. Go ahead, finish, and I'll answer your question another way.
Okay. So that statement alone cannot give me an idea of why you think the way you do as well, where you said you've never been in love. To me, I feel like you've never actually opened yourself up to actually being in love. So if you've been hurt, I can see where you're coming in that women say one thing, but they don't really mean it. But if you've never been in love, if you've never really opened yourself up to being loved, because you're scared to get hurt. And that's one, and Mitch is right. If you trust somebody, you put your trust in somebody, you don't want to get hurt, so you always got guarded in a way. In a way, I feel the same way. I feel like I'm guarded because getting hurt is a horrible thing. It's a horrible feeling. It's hard to get through. It takes a while. Time heals all wound, of course. But for you to say it's not okay to be vulnerable, that's part of life. That's part of the emotion. That's that's something that's given to everybody. So if you want to be tough every single time, 100% in your relationship, it's going to be hard to communicate to that woman, to that special, woman that you meet, if they're going through a hard time or anything like that. I just feel like it's going to be hard for you to kind of understand where they're coming from because you don't want to see that or you don't want to think a certain way. I just think you might want to be more open to different things as far as being vulnerable. If you heard about something, you tell her, "Hey, I'm hurt about something." She might, be able to express herself more to you, and you guys, you'll get to know each other better. In my opinion, I don't know. What do you think, Nas?
Um, I get what you're saying. I had an early well, in my simping days. I would say I wouldn't say I got hurt. I mean, I was highly disappointed in the girl, right? Um, I can't say she hurt me because I didn't carry it to the next one, right? And what I mean, I'll give you an example. Um, well, there was something else that you asked me directly. Let me answer that first. What was that? What was the other thing you asked me?
I said, have you ever been hurt by a woman?
Okay, that was it. Uh, yeah, but I was a kid though. I was young. I've been disappointed, but I can't say I've been hurt or I've been crying. But this is not me talking out the side of my head or me being personal. This is what is experienced by men across the generation. Um, Women have done all of these different types of things to men, um, and when they get what they want, they when they say, I mean, okay, think about it this way. You've heard of the concept of the good guy loses, right?
Yes, sir.
Do you think that's true or false?
For the most part, yes.
Okay, because women don't want that guy. They want the guy that's going to give them the problem. They say they don't, but every woman has a Pookie and a Ray Ray before they have a Mitch, Nemo, Robert, and Nasir. And this is just the facts. And why is that? They say they want a nice guy, they don't. If every woman wanted a nice guy, why do they ever have a Pookie and a Ray Ray? Because they're not telling you the truth. Just look on the internet, or you can just ask a woman. Have you ever been into a bad boy? In my younger days, you know. But so this is not me saying this because I have an emotional uh, problem with being vulnerable. It's just that I understand that me doing that doesn't make the situation better with her. And one more thing before I don't want to take up too much time because I know Rob got to get it, but I'm not saying that I won't be understanding to her. I'm saying that I had a woman that said, "Why don't you show some humility or something like that?" He said, and what she was saying was, "Why don't I apologize to her for being me? I'm not going. I'm not finna be with you like that." So she was trying to put what she wanted on me when I already told her what the game was up front, right? So she wanted me to feel vulnerable for her. I don't want to come off like I never put my head in my wife's lap or my girl's lap and be like, "Yo, squeeze that head," right? That was weird. But I'm saying that I'm not saying I'm not in a place where I need her softness. But if she says she wants me to be vulnerable, she wants to see me cry, I'm not doing that, bro. If I happen to do it because I've gotten to a place where the world has just gotten to me that way, then that's just what that is. But am I gonna do it because a woman said that's what I'm supposed to do? Nah, I'm not doing it.
All right. So let me just follow up on that. So I'm not necessarily saying that's what she wants you to do. It's just part of who you are. So I mean, I completely understand your point of view, Nas, and we all deal with different things differently. You said you were kind of hurt when you were a child, which is fine, but that could be also be a reason why you've also been guarded. You know, because if you guard it, a lot of stuff is not going to come in because see, there's a wall there. So there's a lot of stuff is not going to come in. It could be compassionate. It could be loving. It could be so many different things because you guard it because you don't want to get hurt. But I just think that's part of life. If we try to prevent so many things, we're not going to get to experience the joy of life. That's just my opinion about that.
Let me say one more thing. Let me say one more thing to you, Nemo. Uh, I'm never afraid to get hurt. You know why? Because there's like, for every one man, there's like 20 women. The hell am I crying about? Just put that line back out there, baby. I'm not gonna, bro. I can be hurt behind a woman, but I'm gonna be hurt behind her for a short period of time, and I'm getting back out there. That's just the way I view it. Now, is my way of viewing it because something happened to me young, and maybe I'm blocking it? I don't know, but I do know that I'm not gonna let one person make me feel like shit for too long. I'm just gonna put another bait out there and throw it back out there. You understand? Which is what going to Colombia, going to Thailand, going to Japan, going to Philippines, going to Africa, going to Europe, what all that means. And but I understand that there are people out there who get hurt and then they treat their women badly because of things that happen. I'm just not built like that.
Yeah, they stay wounded for a long time.
Yeah, I'm just Nemo. I'm being serious, man. I'm just not built like that, man. And maybe it was my simping days that I'll give you this. I'll give you this. During the days when I was a young simp, he's laughing. A young simp, uh, I was I was abused by these girls, man. Now, am I still carrying that? I don't think so. But I truly don't look at if I lose a woman, it's the end of the world, man. I don't give a damn how good she is. She ain't Michelle Obama. She ain't Beyonce. The hell am I losing?
All
Okay.
right, man.
Well, if she ain't Michelle Obama and she ain't Beyonce, then you're not putting yourself out there. Come on.
Yeah,
Stop
dude.
dating in the circles you're dating in and get into the Beyoncés and the Michelle Obamas. Now, the only
Dude,
thing I
I
take
hate
issue
to
with,
actually
and
say this, man, but I actually,
let me finish up,
go ahead,
Rob.
brother. Go ahead.
There seems to be a little bit of a lag here. I'll
Go ahead,
make
man.
this really quick.
A little bit.
When I say take issue, it tends to put people on the defense, but really the only thing I I couldn't agree with or didn't really see is the generalization of women. And I think that's because you're speaking from your experience. But to generalize all women, in some of your statements, not all of them, I can't get behind that. I see where you're coming from, but I've met, a lot of women that, are just the exact opposite of how you've portrayed them or how you've experienced them. So, um, we are a product of where we grew up and who we are and experiences we've had. And I think that comes out in some of your statements, but I do understand where you're coming from.
One more thing, Rob. This is what I was going to say. There was a TV show that John McEnroe was on. He was doing one of those morning talk shows, right? And he had made a comment that Serena Williams was the 700th best tennis player in the world. And everybody on the platform lost their mind. And he said, yeah, she's the 700th. And then so they said, do you want to apologize to her? And he said, absolutely not. I believe she's the 700th best tennis player in the world. And then everybody's like, no, I think she's great. So man, John McEnroe said, you think she's better than these men? Because when I say, we didn't say she's the 700th best woman. We said she's the 700th best person, tennis player, right? So John McEnroe said this, how about we let them play? When they played, Serena Williams could not return a damn volley, a serve. She couldn't return a serve from a man. Okay? The other number two best woman in the world was on the other side. She couldn't return the serve on the other side. My point about that is this. People were saying all these things about her, about a woman. And then John McEnroe said, let's just look at the proof. And what I'm saying to Mitch and Nemo, don't take my word for it. Go out and look at what the women have said. And I'm not saying, Mitch, that every woman feels like this. But it's a lot, my brothers. It's a lot of women that say they want these things, man, and they really don't. And that's all I'm saying. So I'm not going to, my flag is not going to change with the winds that they are putting out there. That's all I'm saying. I don't. I'm like I was. I don't like speaking in certainties. So if that's what it came off as, that's not what I meant. But if you go and you look at what the women have said, just go look at what they're saying. They aren't hiding anymore, man, because the internet has made it so easy for them to get out there and run their mouths, and then they can't pull it back. So that's what I'll say. Go out there and check it out what they're saying.
All right,
Go ahead, Rob. I'm sorry about that.
No problem, man. Listen, I hate to even say it, but I'm embarrassed to say I'm gonna have to agree a little bit more with Nemo on this one, man. But I don't know that it's necessarily the vulnerability is vulnerable for her. I think it's more for you. To me, like if you don't let the walls down, you'll never have that ultimate intimacy. I think, right? So I think you being vulnerable is more of a service to you. Like I've had some really strong connections with people, and it's only because I allowed it to happen. All right, I didn't let society or norms or other people get in my head and tell me what I should be doing, or say, hey, that's a little simpish, or this is that. So, like, I think vulnerability is for to achieve that ultimate goal, for that ultimate lifetime of intimacy and love. Like you have to lower down those walls, man. Like you have to allow for the feeling, man. Like listen, man, I haven't been in a relationship in 12 years. Like I haven't said I love you to a woman in maybe 13 or 14 years. So, so that intimacy that I used to have, like I miss that. And it's not for her. It's not for me wanting to please her. It's to make my life a little better. Yeah, I don't know if you can understand that, man. My vulnerability serves me because it allows me to have a different level of knowing you and you knowing me. Like, I think of my best relationships and we were really close. Like, she knew things that that I never would tell anybody that, and I definitely wouldn't go on a podcast and tell, right? But it's yeah. So I think vulnerability for men is more for us than it is for them. That's the way I feel. If I don't let you know me and let you try to make me happy, then what are we doing this for, right?
Yeah,
Real
definitely.
quick.
Go ahead, man.
I don't have walls up,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm just not built like
I
that.
got you. Oh yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I can have a really great relationship with a woman, and I can feel all those things without going there.
I got you.